Hey folks, welcome back to another ERB Explained. Today we are doing the Joker versus Pennywise. So once again, for those of you who are new, this is ERB Explained, where I go through and break down the epic rap battles of history battles line by line and basically help you catch up on all the hidden meanings and the things you might have missed. Now, I'm not always perfect. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm wrong about something. If so, get down in the comments below and let me know. But right now, we're going to get started on this battle.
The joke.
Man, let me just say, they did an awesome job making Epic Lloyd look like Pennywise. When I first saw this, I didn't think that was Epic Lloyd. I thought they got someone else to go and be Pennywise. That's such a great job they did.
In my first appearance, the bat was supposed to slay me, but I can't be killed. That's why they cast a phoenix to blame me. I'm the Harley Quinn of hate, the clown prince of crime, your sewer troll that Stephen King wrote between his lines. It's like cocaine, you know what I said.
All right, so I stopped it right there. So we can go over the first couple lines real quick. So, yes, in the Joker's first appearance in Batman comics, Batman was supposed to kill him. Batman didn't have his no-killing rule back then. He killed people all the time. But they went, and Joker was so popular, they brought him back, and really, he just can't die now. I mean, it's true. And then, of course, Joaquin Phoenix played him in the most recent Joker movie. And you know, they kind of got a little call out to Harley Quinn right there, because she was obviously named Harley Quinn, which is, you know, the old medieval version of a clown, pretty much. And Clown Prince of Crime is one of his most old school nicknames that he's always had. Called him a sewer troll just because of the fact that, you know, Pennywise was always seen in the sewers, and obviously cocaine references he explained, so.
I don't know how any kind of joke could ever go over that head. They all float, says the quote, but your films, they all sink. Oh, and as far as Mr. King goes, I'm a shining man.
Okay, so obviously made reference to his big head, because, I mean, no matter what version you watch, they put prosthetics on it and they give him this big, giant, bulbous head. You know, they keep saying your films, they all sink, but the fact is that they had some staying power. Yeah, they weren't as great as, you know, the Batman films when it came to how long they stayed on top of the box office, but it's not like they immediately fell off. So, you know, that's kind of, They all float, says the quote. Obviously, that's something that, you know, they all float, says Pennywise, talking about the people that he kills. And then for Shining Man Wink, for those of you who don't know, Jack Nicholson played the Joker in 1989, after he'd already played in The Shining, which was written by Stephen King. So, obviously, if this really was the Joker, then he would prefer The Shining, because that's the one that has him in it.
I made the Justice League look like just a bunch of super schlubs. You lost to a herd of nerds who call themselves a losers club. You be gobbled up in Gotham, so stick to your small town where you're renowned. See if it's brown, flush it down, clown.
Okay, so obviously he battles the Justice League all the time. Sometimes he even actually does a halfway decent job of winning. He's, of course, always defeated in the end, somehow or some fashion. And then Pennywise, the kids that beat Pennywise, for those of you who haven't seen the movies or read the books, they called themselves the Losers Club. I mean, because they were social outcasts and they were ostracized. And then the last one is once again a reference to Pennywise spending time in sewers, of course, so.
Are you joking? You wanna rap? Rap.
That is so creepy the way much he sounds like Pennywise. And, you know, that's kind of a reference to his drip, 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 drip type thing he does, so.
Oh, why so serious? You're supposed to be the man who laughs, but those jokes are like your new movie. Mostly really sad.
Okay, so he's supposed to be the man who laughs. So that is in reference to to a lot of different things, because Joker's always been, you know, renowned for his laughter, and most recently, you know, you had the the Batman Who Laughs come out, which was a really popular thing in comics. If you guys are keeping up with that, check out Comics Explained. He has this whole big thing on the Batman Who Laughs. He became this super popular character just recently in the Batman comics. And then, of course, the fact that the new Joker movie, it's not super fun. It's a psychological analysis of the Joker. It's not like the other movies where he sits there and pulls off all these he's not trying to make money off of fish, like he did in the animated series. So
You're John Doe with my deadlights, and you're about to fall from a new height, because you're weak and you've lost every fight. But knight who wears underwear over his tie.
That is such a whole bunch of great lines right there. So, beep beep, reference to a car, because he says, you're John Doe in my deadlights. So, if you're frozen, they say you're a deer in the headlights, because if anyone's been traveling in a rural part of the state and you hit a deer with your headlights, they freeze, they don't move. So he's like, beep beep, like he's driving a car. And a doe is another name for a deer. And so, he says deadlights instead of headlights, obviously in reference to his deadlights, the things that go and freeze people so he can go and eat them or whatever. And John Doe is referenced for a couple things, because the fact that the Joker, we don't know his origin. He doesn't have an actual name unless you go with the new Joker movie or some of the other origin stories we've gotten along the way. So he is a John Doe, and plus it's also used a lot of times in reference to corpses. So now he's pretty much saying, you're already dead. So it's just a whole bunch of different things. You're about to fall from a new height. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the 89 Batman movie again, which was my first Batman movie. So I'm really a huge fan of that movie. And at the end, Joker falls off bell tower and dies. He says, you're weak and you lose fights to knight who wears underwear over his tights. Obviously, a reference to Batman wearing tights. But the thing that gets me is it says you're weak. Now, in the comics at least, Joker has always had the ability to at least go toe-to-toe with Batman when it comes to pure raw strength. So I don't know. So Pennywise has got great rhythm and everything, but some of his stuff is a little off. Just a little bit, though. Not like way off, so.
Nightmares and I'm ruthless. These battles like poker, the Joker is useless.
Man, that's rough right there. So, obviously, first of all, Pennywise is obviously ruthless. He sits there and eats kids. But then the whole line about poker, because those of you who don't play poker, you don't use the Joker when you're playing poker. So if you're playing poker, the Joker is useless. You take off the rules card and you throw out the Joker cards, and then you play a game of poker. So that's pretty rough right there. That's a pretty great line.
Listen, when he's not in your card, tell me Arkham Asylum, I'm crazy with bar. Jack Nicholson played you just fine, but lately the class has declined. Jared Leto came out trying to look like he was Tekashi 69.
Man, so that whole sequence right there was just absolutely awesome. Let's rewind a bit just because I want to make sure I don't miss anything right here.
Winning's not in your cards. Tell me Arkham Asylum. I'm crazy with bars.
So winning's not in your cards. Another reference to the whole poker thing, obviously. And then to call me Arkham Asylum, I'm crazy with bars. Arkham Asylum, for those of you who aren't comic book fans, that is the maximum security insane asylum in the Batman universe. So it's literally a crazy house with bars because it's for the criminally insane. And then this is a great thing right here with his deadlights. That looks so close to the movies. Oh my, it looks professional, like really professionally done. Not just like the way ERB usually has it done. This looks like they had someone from the studio consult on this, even though I know that this is really just a bunch of super talented guys over there at with the ERB crew. Man, that's just amazing graphics right here. So obviously reference the fact that Jack Nicholson played the Joker in the 89 movie. And then he comes up with this Jared Leto line. All right, or Jared Leto, looking like Tekashi 69. For those of you who haven't seen Tekashi 69, he's got all the crazy fast face tattoos, and the Joker has a bunch of face tattoos. I actually didn't have a big problem with the Jared Leto Joker. I was actually kind of excited to see where he would go because he had this different thing. He was crazy in the way that you would go and see someone who actually had that kind of insanity about them in a lot of ways. Now, don't get me wrong, he was, he's not obviously a textbook example of real life insanity or even real life mental illness, because, the fact is that mental illness is much more on a much larger spectrum than people like to think of. But he was playing him in a different way that I'd never seen before, and I wanted to see how that turned out, and I'm a little bummed that they canceled it. I could see why, but anyways, let's keep going.
The played just fine, but lately the castings declined.
By the way, I don't think that casting has declined because, yeah, Jared Leto wasn't the most popular Joker. I thought he played him just fine. But then you got Joaquin Phoenix, who just last night actually won a Golden Globe. I mean, I wouldn't say the casting's declined. I mean, I think, and then you got Heath Ledger too. I mean, come on. I mean, I love Jack Nicholson. Don't get me wrong, great Joker. My opinion, probably the best Joker, but like I said, I'm biased because it's my first Batman movie, but I wouldn't say the casting has necessarily declined. And you can't argue with the fact that Heath Ledger won an Oscar and Jack Nicholson never did, so.
Jared Leto came out trying to look like he was Tekashi 69. So unless you've got a yummy younger brother, I think you'd better run, because I've got 99 red balloons, bitch, and I dare you to take one.
That was a cute little reference right there at the end to Jay-Z's I Got 99 Problems. But, that's what the last line was. Obviously a reference to the fact that he eats kids. So that was a pretty quick one. So.
Oh, back in your well, you giggling sewer ginger. You lost to a turtle that wasn't even a ninja.
So, obviously he called him a ginger because he's red-haired, whatever. Lost to a turtle wasn't even a ninja in the book. Pennywise was always opposed by the world turtle. And it was this deity for all intents and purposes that would go and beat him, and yeah, it wasn't a ninja, so but it would always beat him every time that he came out, and so yeah, great. Anyways,
when I flow, I go Mark Ham with ill zinger. I steal the show like Bob Kane stole from Bill Finger.
So obviously go Mark Ham with ill zingers, so obviously he goes ham, but Mark Hamill, for those of you who don't know, played the Joker in the Batman the Animated TV show and played him in a couple of the animated movies and such. Just a lot of people think he's the greatest Joker, and thinking about it, it's hard to argue it because so much of what popular culture is impacted by the Joker comes from the animated television show and everything. So that was Mark Ham. So so great. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, the Bob Kane stole from Bill Finger. Bill Finger and Bob Kane went and co-created the Joker, co-created Batman. But Bob Kane is always the one credited as the creator of Batman. So.
Loud. Every joke of mine stings. Your 3 nightlights in a cloud, beat by the kid from Stranger Things.
Okay, so on that one, it's I spit acid because Joker in the comics and in the TV show always had a flower, and you can see the flower on him. Well, I'm pointing at the screen; y'all can't see what I'm pointing at, but he has a flower on his lapel that in the comics and in the he might have even had it in one of the movies. Actually, I think he had it in the '89 movie. He would go and it would, instead of squirting water, it'd squirt acid, and then every joke of mine stings. I think that's in reference to the fact that the Joker uses a electrified hand buzzer that has enough voltage that when you grab someone's hand, it will a lot of times kill them. So, and then this is obvious reference to the cross casting from Stranger Things in the new It movie. So.
When I compare your antics to the fiendish schemes I revel in, they pale like the moonlight you can dance with the devil in.
So that's another reference to the 89 Batman movie, which actually has a lot of references in this. The 89 Batman movie, Jack Nicholson played the Joker, who used to be a petty gangster. And in that movie, he's the one who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. And right before he killed them, and every time before he killed someone, he would ask them if they're ready to dance, if they've ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. And he's like, it's just a thing that I say to people right before I kill them, is what he would say. And then obviously comparing the fact that Pennywise is really just coming out because he's kind of hungry, wants some kids and some souls and such, whereas the Joker always had grander schemes in a way, I guess you could say. At least he wasn't just out to go and doing stuff necessarily just because he could. Sometimes he was, but he always had this thing about trying to get the world to bend to his insanity instead of him trying to conform to the world, trying to get the world to conform to him. So, anyways.
Pennywise likes the devil. We have so much fun together, but no one's dying to play with Joker. Except for maybe Heath Ledger!
That is the most brutal line in a long time in ERB. Not the most ever, but it's pretty bad. Obviously reference to Heath Ledger's unfortunate death shortly after he played the Joker. The Pennywise plays the devil thing is the fact that in the that Pennywise is a demon. I mean, that's what he is. He's not just an evil clown. He's an actual, honest-to-goodness demon from hell. And so he sits there and he knows the devil and he's chummy with him. So...
You're an embarrassment. I bet you like you beat Harley Quinn. That purple suit is something you should only see Steve Harley in. I face on your face.
Alright, so first of all, I love that effect where they're face tracking him. That's what it's called, where you keep the head still and then you have everything else moving. It's a great effect. So when he calls him Puddin', that's a reference to Harley Quinn, who he then references the fact that Joker abuses her. I mean, you got a lot of people who romanticize the Harley Quinn Joker relationship, but the fact is Joker is abusive. Harley Quinn was a psychiatrist. She used to be a productive member of society until the Joker basically drove her insane, and she fell in love with him, and now they're off on their thing, but he still to this day is completely and totally abusive to her. And then obvious reference to the Joker's purple suit that he's very famous for in a lot of different media, and Steve Harvey's choice in suits, which is pretty funny, just because I love Steve Harvey. He's a funny guy. So, and then I Feast on Your Fears. That's a whole thing about the Pennywise tries to he really does feast on your fears. That's part of the reason that he goes and feasts on people, and he goes and always tries to represent their biggest fears, to go and push their fears at the highest level before he consumes their soul. So
I'm the Derry Maine attraction every 27 years. But you know what? I have a secret. It's like a very special toy. If you want to kill a Batman, eat him when he's a boy.
So, love the teeth prosthetics right there. It really looks great. And then the whole thing about... He always sits there and he's like, I've got a secret. You want to come here, or you want a balloon, or you want a toy, or whatever, to go and to lure the young kids in. And I'm forgetting... Oh, he's a Derry Maine attraction. So, for those of you who don't know, the It book takes place in Derry, Maine, and he comes out once every 27 years. So, hence why there was It and then It 2, and they took place 27 years apart, so.
Don't you lay a finger on my bat, you little freak, or I will spend a whole week knocking out those prickle teeth!
So, that's really interesting that, the Joker has always been... There's been several times in the comic book universe where the Joker has had a way to permanently take Batman out of the picture, and he refuses to. Or he refuses, like there's a lot of times that the Joker knows that Bruce Wayne's Batman, but he won't expose him, because that's not the purpose of the Batman for the Joker. The purpose of the Batman is to act as a foil for the Joker. He wants to go and drive Batman as insane as he is, so that he can prove that he's not the one in the wrong. And then obviously he just makes a comment about the fact that, Pennywise's teeth, when he opens his mouth up with his deadlights, it looks like you're going into a sarlacc pit or something, so.
Tell your author for his next gangbang scene, how about a little more PG and a lot less 13?
Yeah, so that's the whole thing with the book. There was a thing, the kids all thought they were going to die, so they're like, hey, let's go and have some fun right before we go. And there was one girl in the group, and, well, anyways. All right, we're going to move on.
Even I wouldn't stoop to that kind of impropriety. This is Earth, you space demon. We live in a society.
So that is a reference to a meme. For those of you who don't know what the meme is, basically what happened was shortly after the Batman... Wow. The Dark Knight comes out. Shortly after The Dark Knight came out, you would always have the Joker talking about these things where, you sit there and you do something and everyone goes insane. And, people would go and use that as a meme, talking about how, you would have these horrible things happen, but they would happen at low levels. And then suddenly one big thing happens and everyone freaks out about the big thing, but no one cares about the much more dangerous thing that would happen on the lower levels. And it's been used for some things that were, it was just a thing that people used for whatever position they were taking on whatever was happening. And so it's just a reference to that. The Joker kind of became, even though he never said it in The Dark Knight, it became kind of this whole meme about, this is something that the Joker would say because it's, in his mind, insane. And it's just another example of how he sees the world as insane as opposed to him being insane. So
I've seen your movies, so I know you don't hurry, but I'll shoo you down the drain so fast they'll call you Tim Scurry.
So that's two references right there. One to the fact that the It movies are long, not just the TV movies were too, because I think there were 3 of them. I don't know. And then the original It in the TV movies was Tim Curry, who, great actor, one of my favorites of all time. So.
Ask Robin if I drop bars. I take smiles and I leave scars. Guards at Arkham will admit that the Joker just killed it.
Okay, so a couple of things right there. So obviously, ask Robin if I drop bars, and then he's got that swing in that crowbar because he beat Jason Todd almost to death before blowing him up and killing him. In one of the older Batman comics, they had sat there and they gave fans the choice about whether or not Jason Todd would live or die, and they said he's got to go. And then I leave smiles as part, hold on, what was it he said right there? I take smiles and I leave scars. It's a couple of references there. So the smiles thing, this might be a reference to the Joker gas because he goes and kills people by going and sending out the Joker gas, and it leaves people in a form of rictus where they have smiles permanently on their face. The leave scars, that's actually reference that goes with the next line, Scars Guards, because Skarsgård plays Pennywise in the new It movies, and then of course just referencing Arkham, and then the Joker just killed It, and then it's got him doing the whole Killing Joke taking the photograph things, which you guys haven't seen the movie or read the comic, at least see the movie. It's not that long. It's got Mark Hamill as the Joker again. It's a great movie.
Smile and I leave scars. Guards at Arkham will admit that the Joker just killed it.
Arkham? Ha! You stole that from H.P. Lovecraft. Who needs guards when you couldn't even escape Cesar Romero's mustache?
So yes, Arkham was an H.P. Lovecraft, and the whole Arkham thing was H.P. Lovecraft. The Cesar Romero's mustache I love. For those of you who haven't seen the old campy Adam West 60s Batman, Cesar Romero, great actor, played the Joker, but he refused to go and to shave his mustache, so all he did was paint white over it. So you had this Joker with completely white face paint and a mustache painted white on his face.
Jester, I'm on Tresser, about to make you my Fortunato and seal this battle up like it was a cask of Amontillado.
So that's a whole big thing so the cask of Amontillado, Amontillado, I'm pretty sure he mispronounced that. Maybe I've been mispronouncing it. I'm pretty sure it's Amontillado. I think he just did that to go and to kind of make it go and to make it rhyme. But anyways, that's a whole thing about someone seals this guy up alive in a wall and just leaves him there to die. It's this whole big long thing. It's just anyways, January I believe January Ember. I think that's from the It. I think that's from It.
With January Ember flames, you got beat by the Scooby Gang. John Wayne Gacy's the underground clown posse with frozen sand.
So yes, for those of you who did not know, Joker did lose to Scooby and the gang in a crossover between Batman and Scooby-Doo. Okay, that's just it. John Wayne of John Wayne Gacy. For those of you who don't know, John Wayne Gacy was a serial killer who was also a clown. So, yeah, little creepy right there. Underground Clown Posse is the fact that he's underground, and he got My Flow's Insane, and talk about the Insane Clown Posse, famous rap group. For those of y'all who don't know about ICP, I don't think they're so big as they used to be. I remember they were relatively big in the 90s, but I don't think they're big anymore. So I don't know. I'm not up on a whole bunch of pop culture. So.
Hey, poster boy, missing person posters, Joker's gonna float with me. Cause he just messed with the best wildlife rappers, it's a notorious B.I.G.
So, let's just finish playing out. By the way, at the end here, right before they go out, watch. Right there, they went and they, for those of you who missed it the first couple times, they did a preview of the fact that the next battle is going to be Thanos versus J. Robert Oppenheimer, which I have already done an ERB Explained for, so go ahead and check that one out. So he's a poster boy for missing person posters, because that's kind of self-explanatory. He is the model of the reason that they have so many missing person posters. And Joker's going to float with me, reference to the fact that, when he gets rid of bodies, they all float out of the sewer and everything else like that. And then, best wall-eyed rapper is Notorious B.I.G. Biggie was kind of wall-eyed. I mean, he had his eyes offset a good bit. And, Pennywise has that whole thing with his eyes. So, anyways, all right, folks, that's it for this episode of ERB Explained. Like, subscribe, let me know if I got anything wrong, if I missed something, because if I got something wrong, I know it was almost certainly Pennywise, because I'm a much bigger Joker fan than I am It. So let me know if I missed something up, or if I messed something up, or if I missed something, or whatever. And then come back, and I'm going to try to shoot it right after this. I'll have to see how much battery's left. But I'm going to try to shoot something from all the way back in Season 1. Still to this day, one of, if not my most favorite epic rap battles of history, which is Stephen Hawking versus Albert Einstein. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.